Let's start with the Mario brothers walking through the woods, pretty lost when suddenly Luigi goes missing. Mario is left alone and comes across several cursed memes where they presumably moved after revealance died out. He runs away, then stops in a safe spot, but a hand touches his back and turns around to find the one and only Siren Head. Mario tries to escape the forest, being chased by a communicating monstrosity, but it catches up to him at a tall tree. He screams in horror, and instead of eating him alive, it screams back. Mario is surprised to discover he can communicate with shrieks, and he immediately makes quick friends with the creature, prompting him to find a job so he could reform into society. I wonder how well that could work out in real life. But a crashing computer makes it freak out, causing employees to leave early, and the two get kicked out. Then Siren starts working as a lift man when he assists a friend Boobkins ride the elevator. During the lift, Mario barges in and asking about the job, and he falls out. Thanks to his stupidity, Siren Head couldn't keep the position. Next, it works for the fire department as the fire trucks Siren and Hose alongside Swag and Chris. After successfully putting out a building fire, Swag grants him the job as part of the Wooming Fire Brigade. Yeah, I haven't heard of that before. So Mario plays matchmaker for the Megaphone Freak by giving him a makeover complete with a fashion show. And the two strut around town full afterwards. No one seems to be interested in going out with Siren Head. There might be some truth to that. But it spots a group of megaphones on top Waluigi's taco fan. It then woos the vehicle with a song causing the city to melt down, and the fan comes alive, ready to drive away with its lover. I will spare you the details of how that works. Mario's happy for his new acquaintances, but wonders where his brother went. Turns out Luigi was eaten alive by Siren Head this whole time, but they shrug it off. 8 out of 10, this is a fine video, but I have to bring a few things up. First off, the title implies the two characters go toe-to-toe at some point. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, folks. I have a stroke. Okay, as I was saying. But the two become friends not long after they find each other. A title will be better suited. This is something like Mario meets Siren Head. Quite generic, but it will make sense. The concept is pretty reminiscent of My Best Friend Slenderman, but in that video both characters just screw around within the runtime, whereas here Mario tries to help out mysterious beasts in an unorthodox way. I guess he takes a liking to these monsters so long as they don't try to game over him. Also, I personally love how someone reacted to this video existing, because it supposedly ruined the creativity of Siren Head, because absolutely nobody is supposed to make fun of it. Need I tell anybody that if any fictional character becomes a video game model, it's a fate nobody can control? It wasn't even the creator who said this is for God's sake. Also, before we move on to the next review, I'd like to remind you about this video, along with Officer May being released 2 hours early. Not sure if they thought about changing the schedule, or it was just a minor mistake on somebody's part. Just something to point that out. Over here, we have a continuation of events from a previous video. Beginning with Bob pulling a typical prank on Shroomy with a demon mask. He teases him, triggering Shroomi's PTSD, unleashing his dark side. He strangles and throws Bob in a fit of maniacal rage and runs off to hunt demons. Mario and Luigi are at the ice cream shop where they see Shroomy going on the rampage, blowing up the store. He even tries to take down Bowser while playing with his son, and he throws Junior at him in self-defense. What a good father. After Bowser tries to run away and ruins Mario's food again, the brothers take him to his own protection center run by Psycho and Tari, whom he questions why this is happening, and Psycho scolds that it's his fault. Shroomy has tied Bowser to a plank preparing to torch him alive, but the game tried to restore the good in him before he's shown to have both of his personality fights against each other, almost resembling Flippy from Happy Tree Friends. After montages of memories he had of his friends, Shroomy launches himself into space and comes back free of his inner demon. They all happily go back home, but his dark side seemed to have never gone away, or now appears as its own entity through a reflection. But he realizes they forgot about Bowser, who is now burned to a skeleton. Dry Bowser. Guess it's time for Junior to get that cauldron ready. 9 out of 10. This one is pretty well done for its pacing, character variety, humor, and gave you Shroomy character development. Some sequences can be considered dragged out or not and showing their true potential, such as the battle between his good and bad personalities. Maybe should have gone on a bigger rampage in the city, and I feel like we could have seen what happened when they were in space to include more action to that scene. Now that this demon is in its own thing, it might lead up to a future video, something that may be part of Shroomy's own storyline, or a possible arc, much like what's included in this next video. Well, spicy might be a good way to describe this one. It begins SMG3 luring Mario with pasta to have him record a show at his own studio. Snitch Productions, which he built after his talk show got cancelled, and presumably to show off against his rival's company. After he eats, he agrees to be on the show, making SMG3 laugh maniacally in glee. Meanwhile, at the castle, SMG4 sees the video they were filming growing suspicious after a watch, and he heads up to the studio to foil his plans. While the two shoot a second video, SMG4 interrupts the recording, pretending to be Batman. But Mario spots his friend in the ceiling and falls off. SMG3 calls for security while his rival tries to escape and mess up the studio. When he screws up Sans and Isabel's podcast, they destroy the building as a way of letting out. SMG3 looks at the destruction in despair, and SMG4 believes he prevented something evil. However, he replies that he had no intentions starting his production company since My Electric is enemy just wanted to entertain an audience. He then recalls when the two were at wizard school, SMG4 will always overshadow him with his success and popularity. Realizing that's how he felt this whole time, he asks to accept his apology, but he refuses, now believing the world wants him to be evil all along. He disappears, leaving the two plumbers wondering what he'd do next, but suddenly SMG3 reappears, kicking his enemy in the crotch. That's gonna hurt. Alright, there's a bunch to unpack with this video. Let me start with how well done the sub-parody of Glitch Productions, which is funny in of itself, as well as one of the Hot Ones parody that was played out in the video. Now on to the big stuff. The backstory fits well into the dynamic between SMG4 and SMG3's rivalry, and the scene adds drama to the plot. Unfortunately, we're in an ending where he takes away the attention almost as he never faced by his studio being ruined, and it really was a trick, just as SMG4 believed. At the time of making this video, I have no idea if the future videos will build upon this plot point, because it feels like it could with how dramatic it was. My prediction is SMG3 teaming up with Demon Shroomy to do something dangerous to SMG4 and all of his friends. And that's what what the next one will be about. Or this video was meant to be an experiment with voice acting, since SMG3 has a new voice, which I gotta say is pretty spicy if I do say so. Anyways, this video gets an 8.5 out of 10. Most of the drama is on point. The problems it introduces are slightly slower pacing in the ending. If the events don't continue from it, like I mentioned, I don't know how well this video will hold up, since that will be disappointing. Time will tell if a new storyline is coming soon. Wow, my phone is ringing after I ended my part of the script. Well, would you look at that? They haven't forgotten about this series. Who came up with that crazy idea? A while back, Luke announced that he will be hosting suggestions for skits on Reddit, so viewers can make up their own scenarios to bring them to life for this video. Which means this entry is entirely skit based. So I'll go over this briefing with my favorite skits. Okay, everyone shows off their bizarre stands. If Monitor was a criminal, pickle Mario for its callback to the previous episode. Not what I was expecting regarding continuity. Slenderman and Siren Head throwing hands. Bob taking off his robe, putting mankind out of his misery. And Wario getting revenge on Toadsworth for trashing Waluigi's burgers. The last one justified their use of the Operation Meme. It will likely be only time they ever use it. Like some folks disbelieve, most skits were very hilarious and few were clever to boot, so clearly they didn't include any problematic suggestions. Congrats to everyone who got theirs in, and the guys for picking out the good batch. 9 out of 10. No idea why there was complaint about them using the site for submissions. Because he was a big audience, there will be too many lousy ones. Even though War of the Fat Italian does the exact same thing. Yeah, he always asks for fan suggestions in that series, and this version of Monitor is no different. I bet the reason why this is a non-issue is because they personally despise Reddit as a whole, or have irrational fear that they will pick any bad ideas whatever this happens, which is false. Of course, there would be too many suggestions with the following they have. Not everyone is that obvious. And the irony regarding Reddit is you don't have to be a Redditor to be an annoying prick. Well, thank you guys so much for watching in the second edition of SMG4 multi-reviews. If you like it, consider sharing this video and subscribing for more SMG4 reviews and reactions. And I will see you next time. Peace out.
Hey guys, it's Logan. The Phoebe Puppet is available now at smlmerch.com, so go buy her if you want her. Also, the Junior box is available now at smlmerch.com. You get this limited edition Junior figurine, and you get the SML memory game that you saw at the beginning of this video, and you get the big inflatable pencil that Jeffy was holding, and the cool... Go fuck yourself!